Let's take a common question. I get this asked from a lot of different angles, a lot of different times. And this is Andre from Maryland who says, "Can I live on a retirement salary of 5,000 a month?" This is a typical question. I get it in a variety of different ways, and there is no hard fast answer to it. Possibly, possibly not. Can you live? What I tell people on can I live on this much a month? What I tell them is that you have to look at compared to what you're currently spending right now is the real question. Typically speaking, Hawaii's real estate is about, give or take, national average double what you're spending on whatever real estate you're spending on now, like rent or housing or whatever. It's twice as much. Expense wise, groceries, I think it's fair to say that groceries are twice as expensive here too. I haven't done a recent analysis, but I know that our groceries are kind of expensive, twice as expensive. So right off the bat, those things are twice as much. So if you've got a retirement salary, I'm assuming that's a fixed income. It's not going to move off of 5,000 a month. What you'd really want to figure out is how much of that 5,000 a month are you spending right now to live? If you're spending, let's say 4,900 a month to live, I can guarantee you can't live on that in Hawaii, because Hawaii is going to be much more expensive. So it really comes down to how much of that spending that you have today can you cut? So that's the real question that you kind of have to ask yourself to see if you can do it. Now, can you do it on $5,000 a month? If you're single and if you have a home a condo pay for free and clear, and all you have to pay for is groceries, sure. But that's not everyone's case, and everyone has a unique kind of a perspective. So that's kind of my take. I kind of want to go around the table here to kind of see what you folks, I mean, I'm sure you've gotten these kinds of questions one way or another. How do you generally address this question? Can I live in Hawaii on this much a month without having any of the details? Dylan, why don't we start with you?
My first question would be, what is your housing situation going to be? Because if you can buy for cash and not have a mortgage, not have an HOA fee, and just pay your property taxes and upkeep every year, you could possibly do it. I know I live a pretty modest lifestyle, but I personally, in my family budget, we spend just stuff that I must pay for every month. No discretionary spending is over $5,000 a month. So yes, I have two kids that eat a lot of food and stuff, but that's just for some perspective. I mean, you can live a pretty normal life and easily spend over $5,000 a month just to kind of make it, pay your bills, buy food, and that doesn't include any kind of buying a new cell phone or going on a trip or anything like that. So it depends, yeah. But that's including housing. That's a big question, is what's your housing situation? If you're going to be paying a $3,000 a month mortgage, then you only got $2,000 to live off of. So if you can eliminate the housing costs, then you may be able to do it.
You may be able to do it. But again, to me, that's why I say relative to how much are you spending right now, right? Mm-hmm. That's the key. If you're spending $4,900 a month right now where you live, Hawaii, you definitely won't be able to afford, just because everything is so much more expensive, even if your housing is covered. Anyway, Heidi, how do you answer that question?
Well, I mean, I think what you said, as far as it really depends on your lifestyle. There are lots of people on Maui that live here for less than $5,000 a month. I mean, so it depends, what your housing situation is, what your lifestyle is. I mean, what I can share is when I relocated to Maui originally, I was living in Chicago. Some things on Maui are more expensive, but there's also a whole bunch of things that you don't need. I mean, I spend so much less on parking. I don't spend any money on taxis. I spend less money on clothes. I don't need any boots or mittens or snow removal services. I don't need any heating. I mean, I used to have a gas bill heating my house. I mean, I don't have that. So to me personally, it wasn't really that much different. I mean, I know my grandma was worried that milk would be too expensive and I'd have to move back to the mainland, but I don't drink that much milk, so it's good.
Don't drink. You're going to have to give up drinking milk. That's what I can say. Just if you're a big milk fan, yes, your grandma's fears were well founded, Heidi. Milk is way the heck more expensive. You have to give up that dairy. Not too much. I still get the yogurt, but I get it from Costco. Okay, Scott, how do you answer that question on the can I live on this much a month? What do you tell people?
Yeah, I think it's doable. I mean, one of the things in Hawaii that I've always marveled at, and it's one of the joys that I've had for living out here, it's why my life is, I feel, is so full, is I used to have a surfboard on the bottom of it. It said, "Thank God all rides are free." And I just love that, because there's so many, anything you're doing with the water doesn't cost anything, you know, and you go out and hiking, we're surrounded by such beauty here, and to just go outside in this, you know, the warmer weather and take advantage of the natural beauty that's here, it doesn't cost you a penny. It's, and like Dylan said, if you can eliminate the housing or have, you know, our property taxes are on Oahu are some of the lowest in the country. So if you can manage that housing side, there's actually a ton of stuff, free stuff that you can do. You know, for me, I like to go to restaurants and stuff a lot. So, you know, eating out for me, I end up adding up on a fair amount on that side. But I think this is actually probably one of the better states and the easier states to be able to take advantage of free things and have a
Free things
very
for sure
full
are the
life while
best.
doing it.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah. We had a couple of things that have popped in. Another